Okay, Peter, we're live. Okay, hey, thank you everybody for standing by. Welcome to Wall Street Reporter's Discovery Day live stream, December 22nd. We have back with us Fabled Silver and Gold FCO TSX venture. Peter Holy, the CEO. Peter, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Jack. A pleasure to be here.
Peter, last week you had some interesting news about the project, the Santa Maria project in Mexico. The day you first you debuted on a program, the stock doubled, and I think everybody bought the rumor. They literally sold the news. The stock doubled, now it's back. So essentially, it's people have another bite at the apple. To if they like the story then, they like it more now, since you've actually started drilling.
Yeah, well, originally when we last talked, and one of the questions was, and it was discussed that we were doing geophysics, and someone asked, what were the results, or when will you have the results, and will you be drilling? And I had mentioned that was on a Friday, and I mentioned that on Monday a news release would come out, which it did, and basically what it said was. And hopefully we'll talk about them, is that on the property, not only did the geophysics outline the 2 known veins, but 11 first priority IP anomalies. And that doesn't sound like much. Later on when I talk about them, it is it's quite unusual.
What's for the layman? What's the what's the significance of this? And maybe give us a snapshot of the project. And I'll turn over to pop some images on the screen whenever you're ready.
Well, the thing about geophysics, what happens, and you've seen this, and everybody else, you go for a walk in the woods, and you're walking across rock, and then later on, you're walking across the forest soil and everything else. So if someone asks you, well, what's under your feet, and you're standing on the forest, you can say, I don't know what that rock is. I know at the bottom of the hill, I walked on a rock like this, but now I'm here and I don't know what it is or whatever. So what happens with geophysics is geophysics allows you to look underneath the cover, but it penetrates. And the thing about it is it penetrates minus 500 meters below the surface, a half kilometer. And through the various currents that are sent through it on various frequencies, it responds to mineralization that is conductive. So, you will have volts and ohms and conductivity and resistivity and that's basically telling you, and that'll only show up in the rock if there's sulfides. So basically, these IP anomalies are saying, look, there's a sulfide trend here, except you're standing on the earth and you can't see it underneath you.
So basically tells you that there's, bottom line, is there silver and gold there?
This is unfortunately, and you have a tendency to hit the nail on the head, just like the last time. You know what? The first week of January, there's going to be a press release, and the press release is going to be, we went to all those IP anomalies, and we took surface samples. We took 26 of them, and this is going to be the on the surface. Now you got to remember that this anomaly is below the surface. So if you get any values that indicate, precious metals, what we're looking for, or other associated metals with it, that means, what, this is leached up from the bottom to the surface and everything else. So yeah, this is the real McCoy.
Okay, so now, but also, so you started the drilling actually last week, right?
We did actually, okay. and we have finished the first hole.
Yeah. Okay, so you finished the first hole, and I think, and you started drilling. I think, did you say on the second hole? Did you start drilling?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first hole originally was targeted to go 130 meters.
Okay.
And we stopped the hole at 142 meters.
Okay.
For certain reasons. And then hole number 2 is designed to go to 300 meters.
Okay.
And the hole number 2 will be the deepest hole ever drilled on the property.
Interesting. Okay. So what? Okay. So I guess the next question is when, people are already asking, like, when are they get, when can we get the assay results?
Yeah, fair question. So first hole has been drilled. It has been split. All the core will go to ALS laboratories in Chihuahua just before Christmas. So normal turnaround is 3 weeks. Christmas, might as well count that week out. I doubt much is going to happen processing. So that puts us into the 3rd week of January. So
Okay.
I would expect, and then on, it's either going to every 2 weeks there'll either be 1 or 2 drill hole results coming up constantly.
Okay. So, I don't know if I guess I'll bring it up. I don't know if this is public yet or not, but you have a couple of newsletter, like some, very respected newsletter writers that
Yeah.
are, following the stock. I think we're going to have, them on a program probably the next few weeks. I mean, these are guys that we've had before. So, they're, if they're following your stock, they're, I don't know if they're invested in Fabled, which is, significant, right? So give us kind of like a snapshot of like what, what this, what the project is all about, like what got you excited about it, and then the drilling program, like what, how many targets, what we can expect, what kind of milestones we can expect over the next, let's call it a couple of weeks, even months, weeks.
Yep. No, what got me excited about it was, and as I mentioned in the previous time we talked, is that usually when you find these extremely high-grade silver gold deposits, and these are called epithermal deposits, that they've already been mined out. In this case, it hasn't. And I haven't seen that in over 25 years. So, someone's beat me to it all the time. So that was the first thing. And then, of course, the location being near Pearl, historic mining camp, still, produce over 250 million ounces of silver and still going strong. So you have all the locations and everything else. So with that, I mean, that was just too hard to believe. And then if we can cut this, if you have slide 11,
let me pull it up over here.
Okay. Yeah. So this vein system in the center of kind of the picture, there's a hashed area, and that's a resource. And that was the resource just calculated in December, and that represents 4.4 million ounces of silver equivalent. But if you look to the east and west of it, you'll see these. Not only do you see the veins going on surface that haven't been drilled, but you'll see in the northwest corner and everything else, these swarms of veins going, instead of kind of an east-west direction, they're going north-south now. And there's an old saying in geology, and they call it structure and structure. So what happens is if you have 2 structures intersecting each other, and in this case, it's almost like a vertical intersection, they smash each other apart and they create a dilation zone. And in this big space of broken rock or whatever, they'll deposit a tremendous amount of mineralization as a hydrothermal breccia. So my theory that started off the whole idea of using the IP was, gee, I wonder, right now they know there's 2 veins that gonna go east-west, the Santa Maria and Santa Maria Dos, and they put a small resource on it. But how far do they go east-west? But is there more of them? Because if you kind of think of looking at the Santa Maria veins on surface on a piece of paper, and you can see them, there they are on surface, there you are on the ground, and then you took a piece of paper and you put it on top of those veins, and now you can't see them. And that's exactly what's happening in the geology of this. You have another layer, and then you take that layer, so that's hiding everything else that's going east-west other than the Santa Maria. And then on the other piece of paper you put on it, you crack it with faults going north-south and put mineralization coming up through it. So you're saying to yourself, well, gee, what happens when a north-south hits the Santa Maria vein? Is it going to blow out or whatever? And that's actually what we're drilling right now. You should have a dilation zone. But every time these things coming down north-south are going to hit the east-west vein structure, those would be huge intersections. I mean, huge should be. And hopefully high grade within this type of system. So that was the whole theory to begin with. And so, you can see the two veins resource calculated on it. It still exists to the east. It still exists to the west. Nothing calculated on that. Another 19 veins in the north section. Not a drill hole in them. I mean, other than surface sampling, not one drill hole in them. And this property never had geophysics. I mean, holy mackerel. So if we can move, Jack, if it's possible, to slide 18, I'll show you the exact same slide, but it will have the IP geophysics results on it. So there, yeah, right there, perfect. Oh, no, back up. Up. Yep, that one right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the exact same picture of the previous one. The yellow kind of rectangle that represents the 4.2 million ounces of silver equivalent that were calculated. Now, if you just look at that, you look to the east of it, and you look to the west of it, you will see various IP anomalies. And it's not one, it's two going east-west. And so that's a continuation of the Santa Maria vein under the piece of paper that's laying on top of it. I'm looking through that piece of paper now, so that's the response the vein's giving me. But what's really friggin' amazing, Jack, is that when you look in the north section where we're looking at those north-south veins coming down, I was looking for intersections. If you look at the number of east-west anomalies going across the property, which have never been seen before, and no one knew this, they're running the same direction as or parallel to the Santa Maria and Santa Maria Dos veins. And they're being intersected by these north-south structures. And so a lot of these anomalies, especially in the north section, they define them as two types of anomaly. They'll call it a thin body anomaly, which usually indicates a vein type structure. And then the other word the geophysicists use is a wide body anomaly. And a wide body anomaly is meters, multi-meters in size and over multiple lines and continuity. And so these anomalies in the north are described as wide body anomalies, and they all start at 100 to 150 meters below surface. And so the samples that we took were all over those anomalies that we took on surface to see if there's any mineralization bleeding out on surface from down below, and we'll be coming out with those results early in January. So this adds more, I guess, more proof to the theory of what we're kind of thinking what's going on there. And right now, if you're looking at the center of the diagram, where the vein just comes out of kind of a white blob, if you want to call it, going east, that's actually the location of where the first drill hole is, and the first two drill holes actually, and that's outside the resource area. So anything that this hits will automatically start adding to the resource like crazy. You're not going to change the categories. You're just going to add to the resource.
Okay. Let's go to some questions. So Michael's asking, why didn't FCO start with the unexplored region where they haven't drilled yet, and when will they explore that region?
Well, that's exactly what I was just talking. We're starting with.
I didn't see that before the question.
Yeah, I probably was not, but yes, we are starting with the unexplored. We already know what's known, and yes, you can enhance it at depth and categories, but no, we're going sort of like Star Trek. We're going into places no man has gone before.
Okay, and what is okay? So in terms of the timing, when Peter, are we done with this? Should we keep the slide up, or do you?
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, Jack, is we're going to drill 8,000 meters, and that's probably going to be a total of about 40 holes. And
over how much time? How long is it going to take?
It's probably going to take 5 to 6 months.
Okay, so basically, okay, so the next 5-6 months there's going to be regular news flow.
Every 2 weeks there'll be at least one drill hole, if not two, out. And you have to remember, I mean, historically this property had 9,600 meters drilled, and it gave you 4.2 million ounces. I'm going to drill 8,000 meters in 5 months. It took them 4 years to do that. I'm going to do it in 5 months, almost equal to what they're doing. So, okay. As the old saying goes, you know, the truth machine, meaning the drill, will give us the answers.
Okay, so this is essentially over the next 5 months. We're going to find out. We're going to find out what's there, basically.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Yep. And it's sort of like, I guess it could be, one of things. It could be either nothing. It could be something huge.
Oh, it'll be something, but it's going to give you an idea of just how big this can be, because every one of those IP anomalies to the north, if that results in something of economic importance, every one individually is a discovery.
Okay, and okay, so in terms of if it's economically important, and how big? I mean, like if you had to, what's your expectation of this? Like, what do you think is there?
From 4.2 million ounces silver equivalent right now, that's quite a statement. I do know, and I think I mentioned this before, that the threshold, where the threshold begins of something really being interesting on a sizable scale, is about 50 million ounces of silver.
Okay.
And if you're lucky enough to have a deposit with over 100 million ounces of silver, I would dare say that you wouldn't be around, because that's just what everybody loves, the nice big infrastructure.
Okay. Do you think there's 50 million ounces of silver there?
I'm going to give it a good shot. I'm not saying there is or not at this point in time. I mean, I've just started drilling, so at least let me put out a few drill holes here.
Okay, perfect. Well, silver prices are picking up. I mean, this is I've had we had a newsletter writer on a while back who's he's very bullish. Oh, actually, a couple of people are very bullish, but this guy, David Morgan,
I know David very well. Yeah.
He was this is last February, right before things started moving. He was like saying, hey, silver should be $100 an ounce, and this is going to be the big mover. It's the way to bet is on silver, not gold.
Well, it's similar. Well, silver's poor man's gold, but could you see gold doubling from $1,800 to $3,600?
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Or could you see silver going from $24 or $25 to $50?
Yeah. No, it definitely has more leverage. Yeah. But it could. I think they're both. No, they're both. There's both. I mean, they're both. I think very, very in a very good position right now. Again, I think gold could easily be 3,500 in the next 12 months. And silver, why not? I mean, it could be $100.
Yep.
And then these stocks will go crazy. Okay, so I got questions here from Hanny saying, is 8,000 meters of drilling feasible in a 5-month period given your current cash position?
Oh, it certainly is. All inclusive, about 8,000 meters will be about $1 million.
And you have, what do you have, like 3 million or so?
That's right.
Okay.
So
So you're in a good position. Okay. So and you answered this, right? This is you're expecting this in the early January.
third week of January. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
What are you predicting ounces per ton?
Well, actually, what I get excited about is actually not ounces per ton, it's kilos per ton.
Okay.
And if you want to, whoever's listening, want to see kilos per ton, if you go to the presentation that you were showing, Jack,
Okay. Hang on. Let me
there's previous drill results and underground sampling.
hang on a second. So,
Yeah, if you just go upwards, I believe. Okay. Yeah, there's some examples right there.
Okay.
So this was past drilling by the previous operators as part of their 9,600 meters. But there's one you can see. It's what one? I'm trying to see it. I think it's fourth up from the bottom. Anyways, you can see it's 1 point something kilos per ton, and then there's right at the very top, I think there's 1.4 kilos per ton. Silver, et cetera, 700, 600. But if you keep going upwards, you'll see that over and over and over and over again. It has a very high grade nature to this. So yeah, no, it should be quite interesting.
So this is okay. So basically, the Truth Machine is at work right now. We're going to be seeing results.
Yeah.
We got look at this, Peter. I'm glad you came on. We got a dollar that came in. This is, people like it when they actually make a contribution. The program. Okay, so what about? Okay, this is a fair question. Is there any political risk?
That's a great one. And I've operated mines in the past, and some of my
in Mexico, where you
are.
Oh
yeah, absolutely. And with the changes in government and everything else, there's always different hurdles, especially when you're generating cash, right? Because everybody likes their piece of the pie, and we all pay taxes. And I think there's a saying, the only thing you can't cheat is death and taxes, right? But we're in exploration right now, so we're drilling. So, and the interesting thing is, some people that know a little bit of Mexico, sometimes you're involved with what they call ejidos. And ejido is a community, and within the Pueblo, the various communities, and they own the land holdings, and they use those to grow subsistence crops on. So you have to make an agreement with the ejidos sometimes, and sometimes there's multiple ejidos that you make land agreements with, and that can be very tricky because it's a negotiation. Let's put it that way. Whereas this land that we're on, it actually it belongs to a private rancher, so it's private land, and we have an agreement with the private rancher for the use of this land. So that just removes a whole set of headaches.
Okay, so here's Peter. Here's I kind of want to wrap up with this. Here's what I find interesting about the stock. And again, I'm not purely a mining guy, but I have a sense for people like I like to follow people who are smart. And like I know you have a track record, which I'm going to ask you to kind of tell us about again for anybody that's new. But also there's a lot of newsletter, well-respected newsletter guys that are going to be talking about Fabled shortly. So that's one. And you get big potential project. So let's talk about your track record. So because I think that has a lot to do with what a track record you've done.
Yeah. Originally started in Val-d'Or, Quebec, which I mentioned before. Val-d'Or meaning Valley of Gold. That was with a big international company called Placer Dome, which today was taken out many years ago by another bigger company, or a bigger fish, I should say. And then worked in a lot of the mines there in exploration, both underground and on surface. And
Tell us about the 100 baggers.
okay, well, on
Jump ahead.
yeah, okay, on my personal.
And is this the next? And is
on my
and
personal
the next
endeavors,
bagger?
yeah, my personal endeavors was Scorpio Mining Corporation, which started in Mexico, Sinaloa State, and the first IPO in the year 2000 was it took 3 houses to do it, and it was at a price of 20 cents, and we got bought out X number of years later for $4.50. Second one is Scorpio Gold Corporation. That was a spin out of Scorpio Mining on the takeover. That became a gold producer in Nevada. That has just entered into a $35 million joint venture agreement with a very large company right now. In addition to that, on the second property, they're bulk sampling. Another company called Naya Gold out of Val-d'Or camp. We did the initial raise at, I think it was at 25 cents, and that was taken out after we proved up 2 million ounces of gold by what's today gets called a Cisco Mining, and that was bought out at I think $2.80. So those are things I've been involved with directly, but yeah.
So there's a track record is the bottom line. That investors could see that the lightning could strike again, has a high probability of striking again.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been from sleeping in tents in the woods to banging on rocks to going down holes in the ground to building mines. And if I truly didn't believe in this property, I wouldn't be wasting my time here. And that's why when I go to any property in my whole history, I'll hit this thing as hard as I can friggin' hit it, because I don't want to waste your money, and I don't want to waste my money on something that's not going to become a mine. And so I'm going to, this thing is going to go wide open, Jack. We'll find out real fast.
Perfect. Peter, I think we should just wrap it up on that note. I mean, it's the truth machines are at work. We're going to see news. We're going to see the assays in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks roughly, right? From now.
Third week of January. Yeah.
Third week from January. And is there anything else between now and then that's going to hit the news?
Yeah, we'll also put out the surface samples from over the IP anomalies. And that'll be out about the end of the first week of January.
Okay. So there's things out there. I think we're gonna have some of the newsletter guys on the show probably the first week of January, I think. Depending on when they come back from vacation. So things are looking good. I think I see some comments that the stock is moving up now as you're on the show. So and we got a $20 donation here from Michael. So Michael must have made money with the stock. That's this is when people do that, it means something good is happening. So I can't see the stock price because this thing takes up my whole computer. So I don't know if the stock is moving up, but look at this, Peter, you got to come on the show like every day. This is because I could pay the electricity bill.
Yeah, you're asking about the needed infrastructure. We're 14 kilometers from a major, not only mining operation unit of Grupo Mexico, but also the town of Parral.
How does that compare? How does that compare to typical places?
Oh, this is pretty lucky. Okay. If you saw what I had to build in the other part of Mexico up in the mountains, that was a whole different thing.
Okay, yeah. Gilbert is buying. Is he buying? Is Gilbert? Oh, it's up to 21% is only like, what is it? That's only 4 cents, right? What is it? The stock is 10 cents now, 8 cents. So that's okay. We'll see. OT. Okay, so you just got listed on the Frankfurt, right?
That's correct. And presently, we're probably mid-January OTC. We'll have OTC.
Okay. So that answers the question. So that'll be good. I've got a question. Any institutional interest?
Out of the first financing we did, $4.8 million, it was basically 50-50. 50% institutional, and 50% retail.
I think Mohammed is asking. I think he's asking maybe how often are you in Mexico, or
No, he's asking about. I think what Mohammed's asking is, am I in Mexico right at this moment? And no, I'm not, and I'll tell you why. Is because I'm in Canada, and our travel restrictions to Mexico are no go. I mean, I couldn't go there if I wanted to. I might be able to go through the United States if I worked it out. I know a lot of people that are going through the United
you're gonna
States.
sneak through the border?
Yeah.
Two borders. You're in Quebec, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually in Ottawa. I could, from my house, I can see the Parliament building of Ottawa. I'm right on the river.
Okay, you're not. Okay. So let's see. So things are looking good. On that note, okay, so we got news coming out. I'll ask you, our favorite question, just to keep things consistent. Top three reasons why investors should consider Fabled Silver Gold today.
Yeah, we started with the 3 E's, and we call it expertise, execution, and exploration. And I think the company and my history and the people working for us, every one of those boxes you could check. And I think that just tells it all.
Let's go to this question. Are the drillers, are they Mexican or Canadian drillers? The guys running the drills.
Wesley, it's really funny. This group, it's called Maza Drill, and Guy Desagnone is actually the guy that owns it. And his sister and I guess it would be brother-in-law, I brought down in 2010 to 2002 to work with me, start drilling, because there wasn't any Canadian drill companies down there. And that's the same company 18 years later.
We got Hanny saying he's in Ottawa. He wants to meet you at Rideau. Do you know what this is? A Rideau? What is that? Is that a restaurant?
Well, Rideau Shopping Center, I guess he's referring to.
Okay.
But the river's also called the Rideau. So.
Okay, yeah. Hanny is one of our high rollers. I think he's up like 10x with a couple of stocks. So he's gonna buy you an expensive dinner, right, Hanny?
Well, we're all on a big lockdown right now, unfortunately.
Oh, you are?
Oh yeah, no, it's really not nice anymore.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so Peter, on that note, I want to thank you. We're going to catch up with you in January.
Okay.
And thank you, everybody, for joining today's live stream. Thank you. And all the super chat donations. I mean, Peter, we got to have you on like really every day so we can, make $20.
Well, make some little elf happy.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, everybody.
God bless.
Take care.
Merry Christmas. Bye now.